Fourth grade into math, lesson 9.2. Find the area of combined rectangles. I can find the area of a figure made of combined rectangles. So yesterday we did individual rectangles. Today we're going to have an area, okay? That isn't quite the full shape of a rectangle, but we can split it into parts to get them together then, okay? So number one, Brody and his dad are designing a tree house. The diagram shows the shape of the floor. What is the total area of the floor? You can use addition to find the total area of the combined rectangles. So I want us to label each rectangle and then find what its area is. So we'll label that first one A, and then our second one B, and then we'll say that this is A that we're finding here and B that we're finding there. So area equals length times width. They were nice enough to put the formulas already for us. Area equals what? 8 times 6. Okay, 8 times 6 is 48. And then I need to put a label, which they're using units of feet. So I need to put what as my label? Square feet. And I can write it like this, or I can write feet with a little 2 because that also means square feet as well. Okay, for the next rectangle, what is my length? 15. And my width is 16. You can go either way on those, right? It can be switched around. Now, that one I can't just come up with, so we need to write it vertically and work it out, right? So 6 times 5 is? Put the 3, mark off. Oh, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Mark this off, put a 0 to hold my spot, correct? Okay. 1 times 5 is? 5. 1 times 1 is? 1. Okay. So 0, what's 9 plus 5? 14, so put the 4, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is? 2. So 240, what's my label? Square feet, or feet squared. Add the areas to find the total. So the area of the first one was 48. The area of the second one was 240. So what is the area of the total thing? 288 square feet. So the total area of the floor of the tree house in square feet is 288. Stepping out, number 2. Brody cut an opening for a window in the wall of the tree house. What is the area of the wall? You can use subtraction to find the area of combined rectangles. So in this case, they didn't give us the dimensions of like taking this rectangle and making it cut right here, right? Okay. So sometimes an easier way is to find the whole thing and then subtract out the piece that's missing. Does that make sense? Okay. So area of the whole wall. So the area of this whole thing would be 6 times 6, right? What is 6 times 6? Oh, hold on, guys. No, because is it a square?
Yes.
No, it is not a square. It is a rectangle. So you have to add that what? Can you see it 6 by 6? 6 by 6 would be this whole area, but they want the whole thing. So what is 6 plus 2? 8. So 8 times 6, which is what? 48. Okay. Now they want the area of just this little window. Okay. So what is the area of the little window? 3 by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. So now to find what this all is, because we technically found the whole thing even with the dotted line, right? Okay. So what are we going to do now? 48 minus 6 equals 42. So that part we just shaded is 42 square feet. Okay, so we can do these 2 different ways. Okay, we can do the whole thing and then subtract, or we can do where we find each section. So let's do this one with each section. Okay, so what are we going to do for A? So let's call this A and let's call this B. Okay, so for A, What's our formula? Area equals length times width. Okay? So area equals what? 9 times 9, right? Equals 81. So this is one of my boxes. This is letter A, right? Okay. Now for B, what would this line be here? So they said this is 4. They said this whole long line is 9. So what's 9 times or 9 minus 4? 5. So this line right here would be 5. Okay. So area equals, what's my length? 5 times my width of 4 equals 20. And this is for square B. Okay. So now what am I going to do? Did I extend it out to find a bigger area and then need to subtract? Or did I do 2 smaller areas and need to add them? I need to add, right? So 81 plus 20 equals what? 101. And what's my label? What's my units in? Square centimeters. Okay, so this rectangle, it looks like they extended it out for us. So are we going to add on this problem or subtract? Subtract, right? So we're going to call this A and we're going to call this B. Okay, so to find that whole area, first of all, I need to write my formula. Area equals length times width. Area equals, if I would color in that whole thing, so the part that is shaded and the part that is dotted out, outlined, what would I do? My length would be 10 and my width would be 9, okay, which equals 90. Okay, so that's the whole thing. So actually, we don't need to label these as things because is that truly the whole area? No. Okay, so that's for one of our pieces that we're going to use, right? Now we need to find the area of this box that they etched out, right? So one side is 5, okay? They say this whole thing here is 9. This is 2, so what would 9 minus 2 be? 7. So this other edge would be 7 feet, right? Okay, so area equals 7 times 5, which equals 35. Now what am I going to do with those numbers? Subtract them this time because we found this whole thing here before, but now we need to take out that piece that's dotted out, right? So subtract 10, and this becomes in 8. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. So my answer is 55 square feet. Okay, on your row number 3, Ari and his mom are putting wood flooring in a hallway. The shape of the hallway floor is shown in the diagram. What is the area of the hallway floor? So it looks like they gave us a lot of dimensions. So could we probably just break this into 2 different boxes? Yeah. So we could probably go right straight down here, and then do we have our dimensions already? Yeah. So we're good to go, right? Okay, so what is my formula? Area equals length times width. Okay, this we're going to call box A, this we're going to call box B. Okay, so my first one would be what? 8 times 2 equals 16. So that's for box A, right? Okay, area equals, what's box B? What's the length? 3. And the 3 and the width is 2. So what is 6 or 3 times 2? 6. So that's for box B, right? Okay, and what are we going to do with those? Add or subtract them? Add. So 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So my answer is 22 square meters. Okay, so number 4, they give the floor of a parade float is a piece of wood in the shape shown. What is the area? So they want to know how we can separate it. So do we want to just separate it into 2 pieces, or do we want to add a little dotted line? Okay, so where can we separate it, right? Right here? Okay, so this piece would be what? 2 times 2. Okay, now over here, do we need the 7 feet or do we need this longer side over here? The longer side. So we know that up to here is 7. How much more is it to the full length of it? 2. So what is 7 plus 2? 9. So for this square, so we said this one would be 4, right? What is this square? 9 times what? 12. You should all know your multiples up to 12, right? So what is 9 times 12? 108. So now what are we going to do, guys? Do I need to add or subtract? Add, in this case, because we didn't add it on a section. Plus 4 equals what? 112. And then what's our label? Square feet. Okay, number 5, it says use the figure to describe 2 different ways that you can find the area, then find the area. So we could break it into 2 pieces, right, and find it that way. So if we do it that way, we would do what? 5 times 3 equals what? 15. And then we would do the other box of 2 times 1, which is what? Is 2. So 15 plus 2 equals what? 17 square centimeters. Okay. Now, if I drew my little dotted line out like this, okay, hopefully yours is a little more straight than mine. Okay, so we would find the whole area, okay, up to the dotted line. So that would be what? 5 by 5, right? So 5 times 5 would be 25. Now we need to find what that little dotted area would be. So we know 2 centimeters goes here. So this would be 2 centimeters. What about this though? 5 is that whole dotted line plus that little segment. So we need to get rid of that little segment, right? So what 5 minus 1 would be 4. So this right here would be 4 centimeters. So 2 times 4 is 8. And in this case, are we adding? No, we are subtracting. So 25 minus 8 equals 17. So did we get the same answer? Yep. We just did it a different way. So when you do your homework today, you'll get to pick if you decide you want to just break the boxes apart and then add them together, or if you want to draw that extended little piece out and then subtract that little piece out. Okay. There is one problem though on your assignment that they want you to do a subtraction link. Okay, and they already have it set up for you, so then it shouldn't be too terribly hard. So we decided to break our boxes into 3 different parts. We said box A was 6 times 2 equals 12. Box B is to find that little piece, which we took 5 minus 3 to get us 2. So then we took 3 times 2, which got us 6. In box C, we took 3 times 5 to get us 15, and then we added all those together to get 33 square meters. Which this shouldn't have been 6 times 2. It should have been what? 6 times 3, which would have got us what? 18. So instead of 33, that would have been 19, right? And then we already carried the 1. So our answer is actually 39. Okay. Okay, so for number 7, we took and broke it into 2 boxes. We said A was 6 times 2, which was 12. B was 5 times 2, which was 10. And we add those together to get 22. So on the back side, we'll do that with small group or